Well, gender equity, I was just recently in a meeting with some computer scientists, and it was an example of their industry has an issue with less females in that. So we listened to how they're approaching that and helping young ladies understand there's a pretty impressive career that is only growing out there, and how might we allow females an opportunity to understand that that's a career that is open to anybody. You don't have to be any particular type of person to access that. So looking at how that group is looking at our young people in our community to provide experiences to break down a barrier that they believe exists, and the data shows it exists. In our school system, the gender equity efforts here really fall along lines of the inclusive component that I spoke of earlier. If a student doesn't feel like they're a valuable part of the learning experiences, then we have a problem. By having a diverse faculty as part of that conversation, as well as the student voice, to identify where are their gender-related concerns here, so that students, regardless of their gender, have a voice, and it's in a safe environment. So I think that falls in line with the racial piece. How we've wrapped it in is that overarching concept of the inclusive excellence, so that the voice from throughout our school system can be heard in a safe manner, and that any of the training that we commit to is responsive to what we're gaining. In our school community, the gender equity concern has not been as active or consistent in feedback regarding some of the key concerns related to some of the racial equity and inclusion within our school community. It doesn't mean it's not as important by any means. I'm just sharing that hasn't been a strong component of the conversation locally. And I think some of that might be, and I don't have any data in front of me to prove this. When I go into different classrooms, whether it's AP Physics or AP Calculus, I don't see a room of boys. It's a pretty good mix of gender in those rooms. So accessing experiences for those outlying classes, has not appeared to have been inequitable. It clearly hasn't been part of the conversation. It doesn't mean it's not something we have to improve upon, but there's no question that the equity concerns relating to race has been. As we've looked under the hood as a follow-up to the conversations here, in many instances, socioeconomics plays a part of it. That the students who are coming from less privileged family experiences don't have that same level of value coming from our school system to them, that they are as valuable as the next kid, and that they do have that belief that they're equal or they have the same access as kids coming from privileged situations. So when you peel back the layers of the onion, so to speak, that's where we're really finding where we need to improve significantly for this inclusionary concept to become realized by each student. Because if each student doesn't realize it, we're not making the progress we need to make. I think one of the things that could help significantly relates to these beliefs that I mentioned earlier, being responsive. If we really mean that we're going to be responsive to a student as a learner and an individual, then fair and equal are not the same thing. You look at school systems, whether it's accessing specific programs and providing the supports once the access takes place, that takes a lot of commitment. But also, how do we ensure the experience is responsive?